Ohio State football routs Iowa 54-10, improves to 7-0. 7 of those points came from the defense, and the 7 of the points that the defense gave up came from Ohio State's offense in a fumble return that Iowa had. So impressive performance all around, really kind of driven by the defense. So today we are grading the defense because you're grading on a little bit of a curve. This wasn't that hard of a test because Iowa is the worst offense in the Big Ten and one of the worst in the country, if not the worst, among Power 5 programs. But Ohio State dominated. So, Stephen, what is your grade?
I'm giving them an A- because of the curve. I can't give you the straight out A, but it did what it was supposed to do. And there's got to be some, you got to applaud at least that. You didn't allow Iowa to come out here and look unusual and all of a sudden just be gashing you down the field. Ohio State's defense beat Iowa's offense 7-3 today. And whether the ball's getting thrown right at you or not, you made those plays when you need to be made. JT had a sack today. The defensive line was getting pushed up the line of scrimmage. We saw some different, looks. We saw a 3-linebacker look at one point. We saw a dime look at one point. So at least like Jim Knowles, who has been so married to the 4-2-5 defense, he's not that married to it. If a team can maybe threaten him a different way, I'll put that in air quotes, obviously. But I'll give it an A- because you did what you were supposed to do. And you can't really ask for much more when the offense is this bad.
I mean, I think I'm going to go even higher. I'll just say A+. I think they had to come out and take a bad offense and just flatten it, and they did. This was exactly – I think if you look back last season, there were times – and I don't know if they played an offense this bad last season, even Akron, where they had like 15 sacks or whatever. But you've got to come out and just put them away and smear them all over the field, and that's what happened today. I had done an outrageous prediction where I think I picked them to hold them under 125. Or did I say 100? Anyway, it was fourth quarter, and they had in the fourth quarter, Iowa, and I thought that was being really outrageous. Like, if everything goes amazingly, that's what Ohio State could do. Well, in the fourth quarter, they had 120-some yards with the second team in. And so, Zach Harrison is in, making plays like you would expect a star to make, dominating the way he's supposed to dominate against a team at this level. Now I think it's just a matter of, is this defense still in the process of taking guys like that and being able to replicate that performance against even better teams? So I'm giving them an A+, because you kind of have to get 100 out of 100 to get an A+, and no matter how easy the test is, if you do that, it's an A+.
Yeah, it's like fourth grade math, but if you get them all right in a fourth grade math test, you still hang it on your fridge. You don't say, you're not in college. You hang it on the fridge. I thought you guys were maybe going to go lower, so I'll give them an A because I do think it was if you, again, try to extrapolate. Say they're playing a team like Georgia or maybe a team like Clemson, right, that has good defenses but maybe not great offenses, right? And so, but maybe a good enough defense to hold down the Ohio State offense the way this offense got held down in the first half. Could this Ohio State defense, win you a game or at least, keep you in a game? And it's okay, now Iowa stinks, but, could they do that? Clemson has real offensive trouble. Could they do that against Clemson? Shut down Clemson until the Ohio State offense gets going? Yeah, I thought the way they played today, they good. Could they shut down Stetson Bennett, the Georgia offense, until the Ohio State offense gets going? I think you could. I thought that was good. We talked a lot about complementary football, right, all the way through this week, because that's Iowa's excuse for having bad offenses, that is complementary football. But I thought that was this today, that Ohio State's offense did not play well in the first half, and they still had a 26-10 lead at the half, and then they got going. So I don't know that every Ohio State defense, again, Iowa's offense is putrid, but I don't know that every Ohio State defense the past, 2 or 3 years would have done this. So I thought it was a very good sign. And again, as bad as Iowa's offense was, I think we leave here today saying it's even worse than I thought because the Ohio State defense made it look that bad. They took a horrible offense and made it look worse. Boom, right on the fridge. Hey.
Maybe this isn't completely fair, but I have never really judged what Ohio State is doing defensively this season by an elite standard, because we are judging the offense by an elite standard. And when the offense doesn't reach an elite standard, it says something to me. But when the defense does, it doesn't. This defense doesn't have to be one of the best in the country in order for this team to win a national championship, because the offense is supposed to be so good. And I feel like today was another indication that what Jim Knowles is building here, I probably shouldn't even say that anymore. What is here, what he has done is propelling this team where it wants to go if the offense clicks in on the other side. And I agree with what you're saying, Doug, that it can be the thing that holds that in place on a game-to-game basis if it needs to do that. Get the text 614-350-3315 and come hear a lot more of this discussion on our post-game podcast from Buckeye Talk.